Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Characteristic of an enemy or one eager to fight. Aggressive acts against another country. Tending to spread quickly. An aggressive tumor. Having or showing determination and energetic pursuit of your ends. An aggressive businessman. Characteristic of an enemy or one eager to fight. A belligerent tone. Engaged in war. Belligerent, or warring, nations. Someone who fights, or is fighting. Tending to spread quickly. Tending to spread quickly. Very unfavorable to life or growth. A hostile climate. Characterized by enmity or ill will. A hostile nation. Impossible to bring into friendly accord. Hostile factions. Troops belonging to the enemy's military forces. The platoon ran into a pack of hostiles. Unsolicited and resisted by the management of the target company, used of attempts to buy or take control of a business. Hostile takeover. Not belonging to your own country's forces or those of an ally. Hostile naval and air forces. Gradually intrusive without right or permission. Invasive tourists. Involving invasion or aggressive attack. Invasive war. Marked by a tendency to spread especially into healthy tissue. Invasive cancer cells. Relating to a technique in which the body is entered by puncture or incision. Aggressively and persistently persuasive. A high-pressure salesman. Blatantly aggressive. Online hard-boiled in-your-face pornography. Disposed to warfare or hardline policies. Militant nations. Engaged in war. Showing a fighting disposition. Militant in fighting for better wages for workers. A militant reformer. Boisterously and noisily aggressive. Kept up an obstreperous clamor. Noisily and stubbornly defiant. Obstreperous boys. Characterized by plundering or pillaging or marauding. Predatory warfare. Living by preying on other animals, especially by catching living prey. A predatory bird. Living by or given to victimizing others for personal gain. Predatory capitalists. Ready and able to resort to force or violence. Pugnacious spirits lamented that there was so little prospect of an exhilarating disturbance. Tough and callous by virtue of experience. Devouring or craving food in great quantities. A rapacious appetite. Excessively greedy and grasping. A rapacious divorcee on the prowl. Living by preying on other animals, especially by catching living prey. The rapacious wolf. Living by preying on other animals, especially by catching living prey. Raptorial birds. Relating to or characteristic of birds of prey. Raptorial claws and bill for seizing prey. Devouring or craving food in great quantities. Excessively greedy and grasping. Ravening creditors. Living by preying on other animals, especially by catching living prey. Ravening wolves. Unpleasantly stern. The nomad life is rough and hazardous. Violently agitated and turbulent. Rough weather. Ready and able to resort to force or violence. They were rough and determined fighting men. Not shaped by cutting or trimming. Rough gemstones. With roughness or violence, rough is an informal variant for roughly. He was pushed roughly aside. Not carefully or expertly made. Rough carpentry. Unkind or cruel or uncivil. A rough answer. Unpleasantly harsh or grating in sound. Full of hardship or trials. They were having a rough time. With rough motion as over a rough surface. Ride rough. Having or caused by an irregular surface. Trees with rough bark. Prepare in preliminary or sketchy form. Not quite exact or correct. A rough guess. Causing or characterized by jolts and irregular movements. A rough ride. Not perfected. A rough draft. Of persons or behavior, lacking refinement or finesse. She was a diamond in the rough. Of the margin of a leaf shape, having the edge cut or fringed or scalloped. The part of a golf course bordering the fairway where the grass is not cut short. Full of fighting spirit. A scrappy admiral. Defiantly aggressive. A truculent speech against the new government. Living by preying on other animals, especially by catching living prey. A vulturine taste for offal. Living by preying on other animals, especially by catching living prey. Having or showing a ready disposition to fight. Having or showing a ready disposition to fight. Bellicose young officers. Striving to overcome in argument. Inclined or showing an inclination to dispute or disagree, even to engage in lawsuits. Having or showing a ready disposition to fight. A combative impulse. Involving competition or competitiveness. Competitive games. Showing a fighting disposition. Highly competitive sales representative. Subscribing to capitalistic competition. Aggressively and persistently persuasive. A hard-hitting advertising campaign. Characterized by or full of force and vigor. A hard-hitting exposé. Aggressively self-assured. Offensively self-assertive. Aggressively self-assured. Causing or able to cause nausea. Violating or tending to violate or offend against. Considered such depravity offensive against all laws of humanity. Morally offensive. The action of attacking an enemy. Causing anger or annoyance. Offensive remarks. For the purpose of attack rather than defense. Offensive weapons. Unpleasant or disgusting, especially to the senses. Offensive odors. Aggressively self-assured. An energetic, assertive boy who was always ready to argue.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.